administrative team, coupled with our staff, has been busy over the last number of weeks preparing for what we believe would be a program of excellence here at WMC. Our team has been made up of a number of administrators here at the school. It's been made up of many of our educators within our school. We've had consultations with the state of Michigan. We've talked to legal representation. We spent significant time talking to professional medical advisors. We've talked to a number of other public and private school administrators as we continue to move this plan forward. I'm excited tonight to say to you that we believe that we are on for an excellent year, coupled with a number of new possibilities that we will be doing. Let me also say that I'm open to you as the administrator here at WMC for whatever questions or concerns that you may have, and I look forward to addressing those with you as well as for you. Here's the plan, if you'll follow with me. The plan is that on August 24 of this year, WMC will open with in-person learning. The plan is that August 24, WMC will open with in-person learning. Let me talk a little bit about what that means as we think about what that particular discussion is about. As you know, that WMC has been constantly reviewing the pathway that has been laid out by the state of Michigan as it relates to school and various phases. And at the present, WMC, along with other schools, are in daily communication with the Department of Education, along with the governor's office as relates to phases. Tonight, Michigan, particularly the Grand Rapids region, is considered phase 4. Tonight, as I speak, the Grand Rapids region that we are part of is under the auspices of phase 4. Let me talk a little bit about what those phases mean. If for some reason we are brought back to either phase 1, 2, or 3, if we are brought back to either phase 1, 2, or 3, the executive orders from our state would mandate that we have remote learning only. If we are pushed back to phase 1, 2, or 3, the executive order from our governor says that we would have to start with remote learning. Phase 1, 2, and 3 would emphasize a number of things. One, schools are closed for in-person instruction. 2, school buildings may continue to be used by licensed care providers if the providers follow the emergency protocol identified by the state. Number 3, school employees and contractors are permitted to be physically present in school buildings for the purpose of conducting basic school operations, including remote live instruction as determined by school administrators. If we are pushed back to phase 1, 2, or 3, then WMC will follow the executive orders of our governor, and we will move forward with remote learning only. Our school will be open to employees and other school individuals for basic operations, which include the remote learning opportunity as determined by me and other senior administrators. Tonight, it's critical for you to know that we're under phase 4. Tonight, we're under phase 4. Phase 4 will give us in-person instruction with required safety protocols. Phase 4 will give us in-person instruction with required safety protocols. We are planning to open WMC to in-person learning on August 24. And I'd like to lay out for you now some of the plans as it relates to this. The information that we have received from our governor lists 3 possibilities. And those possibilities are required, strongly recommended, and recommended. The governor has laid out for us 3 important situations: that which is required, strongly recommended, and recommended. As it relates tonight to personal protective equipment, the statement that has been published to us is that of being required. Facial coverings must be worn by staff except for meals, and facial coverings may be homemade or disposable level 1 basic grade surgical masks. All staff would be expected to wear facial coverings. Item number 2, facial coverings must be worn by pre-K-12 student staff and bus drivers during school transportation. Number 3, facial coverings must always be worn in hallways and common areas. Facial coverings must always be worn in hallways and common areas. And finally, number 4, facial coverings must be worn in classrooms by all students grades 6 through 12. Quick summary of this is that all students that are unable to medically tolerate facial coverings must not wear them. We will entertain information from medical health provider, either the county health department, which will give that particular student clearance to not wear facial coverings. In summary, personal protective equipment must be worn by all staff, must be worn by all students in passing or hallways and classrooms, grades 6 through 12. Students that are unable to medically tolerate a facial covering may not wear them with proper documentation from a medical provider or either the county health department. Next item. The effort of hygiene. WMC is personally involved in moving our school as it relates to cleanliness, particularly hygiene behavior. We're going to institute an opportunity for training for all of our staff, coupled with our students, as it relates to coughing, sneezing, covering with tissue. We anticipate having individuals in our building to aid with that. There will be systematic and frequent checks and refilling of soap and hand sanitizers. Teachers and students will be scheduled with hand washing opportunities, and those opportunities would take place every 2 to 3 hours. There will be no sharing of personal equipment. Every individual will be expected to keep those individuals in their own personal cubbies, containers, or lockers. There will be limited use of classroom materials for small groups, and there will be opportunity for disinfectant use provided throughout the day There will also be portable hand washing and hand sanitizing stations set up throughout the school building. Our goal there is to provide a safe, and I underline the word safe, a safe environment for our students while here at school. Item number 3, space and movement and access. We will be spacing desks 6 feet apart in classrooms. Students' desks will be spaced 6 feet apart in classrooms. Classrooms with larger tables will be utilized, and we will utilize that space as feasible for us to maintain the 6-foot distancing requirement. Teachers would be encouraged to maintain 6 feet of spatial distancing between themselves and students as much as possible. Family members and other guests are not allowed in the school building except under extenuating circumstances determined by school administration. Those of you who have need for student involvement, for students during the day, are encouraged to contact the office, and we will respond appropriately in contacting your particular students. The goal here, again, is to provide safety for our students. Signage will be posted that recognizes social distancing, seating, and floor markings will be placed throughout the building. Next item. We will place appropriate signage as it relates to hygiene opportunities and social distancing throughout the building. Adult guests that enter the building will require to be screened for symptoms, to wear facial coverings, and they will need to wash, sanitize their hands as entering the building, and we will provide that. Staff will monitor the arrival and dismissal to discourage congregation of our students. And when possible, physical ed classes will be held outside and social distancing will practice. We would do as much outside education as possible to us and yet recognize social distancing in that process. As it relates to screening students and staff, we will work hand in hand with our local health department in cooperation with the Muskegon County Health Department to establish appropriate implementation of policy as it relates to our students and staff. We will identify a quarantine area where students who are challenged will be able to await family and our guardians to pick them up. Students that show some level of symptoms are to be kept home until negative testing has been completed, or if positive testing, they must remain out of the building for 14 days and then pass a negative test for re-entry into school. Our staff will conduct daily self-examinations, including temperature checks prior to work. If they exhibit respiratory or gastrointestinal symptoms or have a temperature of 100.4 greater, then they will not be permitted in the building. As it relates to testing protocol for students and staff who have a positive case, again, we will be working hand in hand with the local Department of Health in Muskegon County. Students who develop a fever or become ill with COVID-19 symptoms should wear a mask and be transported by their parent or guardian or an emergency contact or ambulance if necessary for off-site testing. Staff who develop a fever will be expected to adhere to the same policy. Those students that show symptoms will be sent home from school, should be kept home until they've tested negative for COVID-19 or have been released from isolation according to CDC guidelines. Documentation from a doctor's office or from the health department must be provided. Families will be notified. We will notify all of our families of laboratory positive, clinically diagnosed cases of COVID-19 within a particular classroom or school. We will also, at the same time, protect the integrity of the individual or individuals in an effort to adhere to HIPAA law and practices. In the event of a laboratory test, that student or staff will be asked to remain out of the building for 14 days, experience a COVID-19 negative test, and then be reallowed in the building. As we continue this effort, it is critical for you to recognize that our goal here is to protect all of our students, to protect all of our staff, and to provide excellence in education that we believe that we can do in a COVID-19 environment. Next item. As it relates to food service and gatherings and extracurricular activities, indoor assemblies that exceed 50 participants is prohibited. Classroom and outdoor areas will be used for students to eat meals as we seek to practice social distancing guidelines. Large-scale assembly of more than 50 people will be suspended under phase 4 of our back to school. Off-site field trips are suspended. It is our goal to have our students to eat in their classes with disposable utensils. We will also encourage the opportunity of chapel in some very creative ways. As we are working on, we anticipate hopefully some outside experiences as well as some telecasting responsibilities. As you know, we're excited about where we are athletically with the new possibilities of fields and the new possibilities that we have. Large-scale indoor spectator events are suspended under phase 4. There can be a maximum of 100 people, and people not a part of the same household must maintain 6-foot social distancing from one another. We are busy working and monitoring the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Mr. Kurt Gruppen will give leadership to our athletic department, and we will follow those guidelines as presented by the Athletic Association. As it relates to cleaning in the building, frequently touched surfaces, including light switches, doors, benches, bathrooms, will undergo cleaning throughout the day. A library, computer carts, art, and hand-on classroom will undergo cleaning after every period. After every period. Students' desks will be wiped down after every period. Student must wear gloves. Staff will be expected to wear gloves, surgical masks, face shields while performing all cleaning activities. We're working hand in hand with our board of directors, and I am excited over the fact of what we are striving to do as it relates to medically vulnerable students and staff. We're looking at some technological opportunities that will allow us to have remote learning from a very sophisticated technological platform. The opportunity of webcam opportunities, the opportunities to literally bring this excellent education to our students from a remote platform if that need arises. We spent significant time over the last couple of days researching that matter. We've had significant conversations with experts in this field, and we believe that we will be at the cutting edge of education. Again, the cutting edge of education that will afford our students, if necessary, the opportunity to stay in pace, to stay in step, to stay in tune with the classroom through these devices. We're excited about where we are in that way, and we hope to share much more information with you in the next several weeks in that way. Again, we are also looking at the opportunity of our mental health component as we anticipate having trained professionals in the building that will work with the counseling office to address strategies from a mental health point of view. We're looking to identify a point person that will lead that discussion for us and provide crisis response protocols when and if necessary. We feel very strongly about this as we want our kids to be safe physically and safe mentally as well, as we move forward in this way. Our goal is over the next weeks to continue to share with you the changing dynamic as it relates to COVID-19 and education. We will utilize school messenger to communicate information concerning opening and closing. We'll utilize texts and phone calls and emails in various ways to communicate with our community. We will also use Google Classroom. We'll use Power School in an effort to share. It is critical for us to continue this pathway of communication. There will be several other webinars under this style that we will use to constantly update you as we go. We're providing an opportunity for professional development under the leadership of the Dean of Instruction. This particular department will provide for all of our students an excellent chance, and to our staff an opportunity to teach transformationally in this COVID-19 environment. We're excited about what that means as we believe we will use this opportunity for the advancement of the Lord's kingdom through transformation. We will continue our effort as it relates to Spanish immersion, and our Calvin connection is in place, and we're excited about where that will go as well. Let me encourage you to continue with us as we will pursue excellence in education. As it relates to our building, we're excited about what our building maintenance supervisor will direct. We've encouraged him to move full force in a way that will keep this building healthy, for our students. You will see hand washing opportunities. You will see other devices within the building that we will provide for the safety of our students. Technology is on our mind, as I said earlier. There would be a complete webinar to address what we would do from a technological point of view, and we would be excited over the next several weeks to provide that information to you as well. It is our hope and desire that we will move from phase 4 to phase 5. Again, life becomes much easier for a number of us if we can move from phase 4 to phase 5. Phase 5 will require, again, minimal safety protocols that will allow us the opportunity to really move our students and staff with minimal requirements. Ultimately, it is our hope that we can move to phase 6. And once our governor has moved us to phase 6, WMC will open with in-person instruction with no restrictions. Phase 6 will afford us the opportunity to open WMC with no protocol. A quick summary. At the present, the state of Michigan is under phase 4. Phase 4 will permit in-person learning with significant safety protocols. We will continue to share that effort with you as we continue excellence here at WMC. I'd love for you to interact with us. If there are questions, there will be other webinars whereby we would be more specific in our operation, such as class assignments, such as athletic opportunities. Tonight was designed to share with you that we believe that we have a strong plan, under phase 4 that will allow our students and staff to learn with excellence and at the same time provide safety for everyone. Please pray for us and pray with us as we seek to honor God in our effort. I close this tonight by asking Mr. Scott Seisman to come, and he will close this meeting. It's my privilege to welcome Mr. Scott Seisman.
Thank you, Pastor Greer. As you can see, the staff has put in a lot of effort into the reopening plan for WMC, and we are grateful for the time and dedication that has been put towards this. As a member of the board, we are hopeful and prayerful that these efforts will work and our kids can return to school in August. As Pastor Greer has said many times tonight, we educate our children with excellence. I know I witnessed that this past spring with our teachers and students, and I hope you did as well. We have great plans in place for this coming year, as you heard. We are asking you, our WMC community, to commit to our school. Join us in the legacy that many generations before have experienced. We need your help, though. We hope that you'll pray and participate with us and alongside of us. Please continue to pray for our school, its teachers, students, administration, coaches, and all those that make WMC such a unique and wonderful place for our kids to get a Christian education. Thank you again for joining us tonight.
Again, on behalf of the students, on behalf of the staff, the board of directors, and all, we hope that this initial meeting will begin the pathway that will lead us to God's plan for Western Michigan Christian Middle and High School. If you have questions, if you have concerns, please share those with us. We will be able at a later date to address every concern every question that you may have. Again, may God bless you and may God keep you. Thank you for joining us tonight.